Revenge of the Sith.
Which might be the most interesting discussion
of the prequels.
Yeah.
Well, I like it.
I don't mind it, yeah. I think it's comfortably the best of the prequels.
Out of 5.
I will give it 5.
Out of 5 armless burnt Anakins.
I'm toying between 3 and 3.5 armless.
I am on this one as well, yeah. But you need to realise what a 5-star really means.
Well, I'll give it a 3 I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 because I'm feeling generous.
Okay, I'm not. I'm going to go for 3 stars.
I'm going to go 3 too, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ever the optimist, I am. I watched Star Trek recently.
I'm gonna be saving my.
I'm in a good mood.
I'm gonna be saving my 3.5, like
I watched a few good films recently, so I'm feeling strict.
Okay. Yeah, so Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I think plot-wise, it's all over the place. Acting in a lot of places is still terrible, but I think those terrible moments are at a minimum, and like the good stuff shines through. The lightsaber fights, plenty of those. Yeah. They're all good,
and they're good.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is Ewan McGregor at his best.
Yeah.
In the prequels.
Well, in the
McGregor's
always
good.
Like I obviously he's done better performances.
But also like he's got the look. I feel. He's got like a better beard. And
he embodies Obi-Wan Kenobi so well in the third film.
I think in sort of across the board, Episode 3 is the best of the prequels.
Yes,
in
every aspect.
Also, you've got some like Count Dooku gets offed. But then you've also got
early
pretty
doors.
quickly,
they just kind of swipe the slate.
Yeah, just like hands gone.
I reckon it was like the Lord of the Rings thing with Christopher Lee, where he got cut from Return of the King,
and he was pissed.
He was so angry. Well, it wasn't that he got cut. His big fight at the end got cut, and then so he refused to appear at all in the movie. I think is that how it worked?
Something like that.
I reckon this was like. He probably should have died at the end of Attack of the Clones, and we're like, we'll give you a bit of Revenge of the Sith.
But he's in it for a tiny bit, and then he gets killed. But then General Grievous is pretty cool. I like him as a villain.
He's quite cool. Yeah.
I wish he was in it more. To know more about him, but I like him.
I wish.
I would say I'm content with how much he's in it.
Yeah,
but I quite like him.
I thought it was a bit disappointing when he goes, I've been trained in your Jedi, and then gets like taken out and like.
You've been trained in your Jedi arts, but with
very shitty.
With 4 lightsabers, still lost to 1 lightsaber.
Yeah,
because obviously not very well.
But again, I lost when I did that bit when his arms like separate and he's like attack, and I was like ho, and then he's like chew, and then he goes. There's one hand gone.
Yeah, and then pretty soon after that,
then chew, another hand gone.
Do you know, right? I think though.
I guess he's not that good.
Yeah.
I think Obi-Wan was due a win because I think in Attack of the Clones he didn't really at any point cover himself in any glory.
No.
Like gets his ass kicked by Jango Fett, but loses to Jango Fett. Gets his ass kicked by Count Dooku. So since he's killed Darth Maul, you've not really seen him be a badass against someone good. And at this point, this is a kind of a point in the film where you're thinking like, oh, I think Anakin might be a better Jedi than him actually. And then he goes and kills General Grievous with 4 lightsabers, and you're like, oh well, okay, fair enough. This guy knows.
I actually really like that whole sequence because of like when neither of them have lightsabers, and there's like it starts off with a lightsaber fight, then it goes in that chase where he's on the big bird.
The fucking lizard.
Yeah,
lizard bird thing.
The bird chicken thing.
What's the
chicken
thing.
lizard
and,
thing?
Makes General Grievous is on that
bizarre noise.
And General Grievous is on that awesome
like this circular thing that has mechanical arms
has legs
and
stuff. I was like, I want one of them. But they have a wee chase sequence. They fight each other. Then it ends in that fight, which is like kind of scrappy.
Yeah, I like the scrappiness.
Where I love it also when. He throws Obi-Wan Kenobi on the floor. Obi-Wan like kicks him, and then he goes like ah, because he like smacked his shin off metal, and then he like has to kill him with the blaster.
So uncivilized.
I was like, that's a good fight. That's Obi-Wan doing.
That fight was quite good.
Being a badass.
I liked the starting sequence. I think this is this is the film where the starting sequence was actually pretty good.
It was like
compared to the other two,
I'd say
you're
A+ starting sequence. I mean, Phantom Menace. It's like. Look at the credits, and then it's like, now here's a ship slowly docking.
It's like the negotiations.
Yeah. What was Attack of the Clones is a big one?
Attack of the Clones.
I don't even remember.
It was the it was the decoy getting blown up, and not much happens. It just
not much happens.
It goes straight to Coruscant.
And she goes, I failed you, Senator. Even though,
yeah.
Even though the decoy's exact job was to get killed instead of the Senator. But yeah, then Revenge of the Sith kicks off, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
like it's a massive. I love that shot as well, but when the two fighters come along, it just goes along the little Star Destroyer thing, and then it zips over, and you see the whole space battle. And I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I remember I was in the cinema, and I was like, this is good stuff.
Yeah. It is a good fight.
Because there's all the stuff that happens between them getting onto the ship, and there's all the stuff that happens between them trying to get to the Chancellor, and then there's all the stuff of them trying to get off the ship, and it ends with them crash landing the spaceship onto Coruscant.
I quite liked it was kind of matching each of the the two main people, obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin against one another, and saying, oh well, he's better at this, but he's better at this. And you're kind of like, right, okay, you're kind of like building up their, rep for the final kind of fight in a way, you know?
I also, these are the lines where I thought, humor. Yeah. Humor is back in these movies. Because there was a bit where, like, they take over the ship to try and, like, land it. And then Anakin says, I think the ability to pilot this thing is kind of irrelevant. And I was like, that's a pretty good line. And Hayden Christensen wasn't a creepy bastard in that sequence. Yeah. And like, And then there's a bit where, the ship like splits in half.
Not to worry, we're still flying half a ship.
That's good, great line. And then at the end of that sequence,
another happy landing.
Yeah.
I do think that it does throw a bit more.
A great sequence. Yeah. It does slow down
considerably,
almost immediately.
Because
then it's like
it goes
in the outer systems and the droids and on this planet, and I'm like, I'm lost.
And then it goes to like, I'm pregnant, Anakin, and shit like that.
I'm like, okay. And then there's there's that one awful exchange where he says, "You're so beautiful," and then she goes, "It's only because I'm so in love." And then he says. And then he says, "No, it's because I'm so in love with you." And she goes, "So love has blinded you?" And it's like, "Shut up about love!" And I'm like, just take the compliment. He's so beautiful. Say, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Okay, mate.
It's like, no, I'm more in love with you. Enough of this nonsense. Okay, but luckily that's like the only scene that like sticks out to me as like that was really awkward and it didn't work to me.
Thing. There was loads of like meetings. I felt
a few meetings, lots of Mace Windu talking to Thin Air, going, "No, I don't like this," and then Yoda going, "I don't like it either."
Like I believe that our like force powers have been diminished or
somehow, even though it's never even shown or demonstrated in any way.
Do you think right that so the Palpatine reveal right, because we knew it. From the moment he comes on screen, you're like, oh look, it's Emperor. Do you think that they should have tried to disguise that more? Or do you think it was impossible to try and
they could have. I think that they could have, but
I think what gives it away is the guy's voice. Like Ian McDermott's voice is just really it's just a staple of like,
speaks exactly
like him.
He doesn't even try to like really disguise it.
I mean, if they had maybe more old guys that kind of, if it was like Clue and there's a good couple of people who you're like, oh, he looks a bit dodgy.
If they like made a subplot where they're like, we found the Emperor, but it's someone else, and then the Chancellor comes out and he's like,
we're all suckers for a good twist.
We are.
And it was like, you were never going to get one there.
But that was good. But although, to be fair, when Ian McDermott becomes the Emperor, you could tell he's having a ball. He's just having it
waiting for it. He's like, I have sat through so many council meetings for this moment. I've got to trade negotiations for the past 6 years.
This is my chance.
But that first, when he gets his lightsaber out, what's that leap over the desk thing? Is that sort of 360?
It's 360 twirl. He's like a bullet at that point.
But does nothing. He goes like 4 feet.
Literally, you could have walked round the desk with the same effect.
Just a bit more casually.
He goes like 4 feet forward. He doesn't like. He doesn't even like use it as an opportunity to like attack anyone.
I know. Why
To
does
counter that, Yoda's entrance is really cool when the two guards are at the door
Oh, yeah.
and he flicks his finger.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like that's kind of like the Yoda. I'm like, that's what Yoda would go in
Also,
to like fighting like.
One of my favourite lines from the Emperor is when he's like taking Yoda down. And he goes, what is it he says? He's like, look at you, my little green friend.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
My little green friend. Yeah. But even like before he's all fucked up in the face and burnt and stuff, there's a bit where he's like, Anakin figures it out, penny drops, and then he goes, he's got the lightsaber
It
out.
takes him quite some time. It takes him quite some
The
time.
Force. You're a Sith Lord.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
But even the bit where he says like, where he goes, are you going to kill me? And he goes, I'd certainly like to. And then he goes to the bit where he's like, he almost like creams his pants where he goes, I know you would.
I know.
I think he's got a worse line than that.
Oh, really?
No, you will die.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, it's so funny.
And do you know that people latch onto the unlimited power thing, right?
Oh, I love that
But
line.
he's just showed us he doesn't have unlimited power because he had to stop.
Yeah.
So I don't even understand.
And he got his face fucked up as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
Limited power.
I know, it's not like he's recharging his batteries, like whilst
I can go for about 5 minutes.
yeah. I mean, not unlimited.
The Energizer Bunny, I am not.
Yeah.
That's good.
I kind of felt like in the prequels they had to make it so that all the really old people that you were like, who got out their lightsaber could jump and actually be faster than people who are like 20 odd or whatever that are fighting.
Yeah.
And like they made him like fly across tables and stuff. You're like, you could just fight like a normal guy.
I wasn't too crazy in the bit where they're in the hall with all the little pods that people sit in during the meetings.
Well, the bubble one.
And they're bouncing around.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Yoda.
I thought that was quite...
Did you quite do you like
I
that?
quite like that, yeah. Well, again, I think it's quite good because the Duel of Fates music comes back in.
Yeah.
But that's
that's
good.
a good thing.
Another scene I want to single out is the opera scene. When Palpatine tells him the legend of Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
I think that is an excellent scene.
Yeah.
You're far more interested in that than any of the sort of
it kind of
one-to-one speeches. There's
prequels. It makes the Force kind of mysterious again.
Because
it's like,
and it's got that music in the background as well.
The music's great. Like just the atmosphere is really great.
Yeah, I remember when we were watching.
And you never, even in the originals, that never really gets broken down. The whole what is the dark side sort of thing.
Well, again, that's why I like it because it's like it's the prequels, but it's expanding your knowledge. So it makes the originals like more interesting because of what you know from the prequels, kind of thing.
Yeah, I quite like it when it's a bit more complicated than good and bad. But, obviously, like...
Well, do you know what I always thought? This is another tangent. We're almost an hour into this.
Yeah.
But another tangent. I always thought an interesting character to see, hypothetically, would be a Sith Lord who, like, doesn't, like, quite get turned to the light side, but is, like retires from being a Sith Lord. Like,
kind of like an anti-hero.
Yeah. Kind of comes to the conclusion, like, I've done terrible things, so I stopped, but I'm not a Jedi. So he can still use, like, Force lightning and has a red lightsaber and all that kind of stuff. I think that would be interesting, because then, as soon as a Jedi meets him, he'd be like, oh shit, you use the dark side. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not a dick.
It's alright, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, only sometimes.
Well, a couple of days. Just lightning here and there.
Maybe every Friday.
So I like the colour red.
Yeah.
I would want a red lightsaber though. If I was a Jedi, I'd be like, "Can I just have a red one?" And he'd be like,
I don't know, man. I'm torn. That's a question for another day.
Yeah.
Though.
That's
Maybe green.
Hypothetical idea, but a fan fiction, His name is Darth Moon.
I don't really. Yeah, I didn't really have any problem with it. Apart from Anakin's turn to the dark side was way too sudden for me.
A bit.
It is quite,
Yeah, he's just like, what have I done? It's like he chopped off, like Mace Windu's hand.
And because you don't really get any sense of evil when he's kind of frustrated.
Yeah. Well, you just get creepiness and like patheticness.
Yeah, and it's like it's just like a stroppy teenager.
He's just like a lapdog.
He's holding me back.
Yeah.
I think that was Attack of the Clones, is it?
That was Attack of the Clones.
But yeah, and so it was a bit like, oh, bam, evil.
Yeah, and then he just like, he goes from, that's not the Jedi way to, killing children. You're kind of like, I didn't really see the younglings. Yeah, Obi-Wan, try not to laugh. And you're just kind of like, well, I didn't really see any change, It's like, now I kill people.
I actually thought, going back to Attack of the Clones, the bit where...
Why?
when he murders all the sand people, like when
not like this.
Fucking APOC,
APOC and Switch.
Right, we gotta do the Matrix.
We'll do a Matrix.
We'll do that one day.
Should we include the Animatrix in that one? Oh, we'll get to that one eventually. But in Attack of the Clones. You just made me lose that bit. But what was I saying? In Attack of the Clones, when he murders all the sand people, that I feel like is supposed to be the first holy shit, he's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But then they ruin it with a follow-up scene where he's like, I hate them.
Crying. That's not evil. That's
just on the table, and I'm like,
that's just like a strop. Yeah.
You could have just been like, I killed them,
and just been really distant about it or something like that. Yeah.
And it's also in a different film. You've kind of almost. He's gone fully back to stroppy teenager by the time he turns evil, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But, he kills all the... Do you know when the prequels actually work? Is when they actually just don't have the dialogue. Because someone said,
it's true.
Again, film is supposed to be a visual medium. You show, don't tell, as much as you can, kind of thing. But in Attack of the Clones, again, if you think about that fight with pardon me, but if you have, Count Dooku and Yoda doing that little force, bit... But someone said, if you just removed the dialogue and just had them, do it in, kind of exchanging glances and did it that way, then I think you could have played it off more as, let's see what you've got kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also,
I agree.
Again, another scene in Revenge of the Sith, which I think is really good, is when, it's really specific, I think it's when Mace Windu is on his way to arrest the Emperor.
Yeah.
Or the Chancellor, sorry.
Yeah.
But... he's not quite gone there yet, and Anakin is making the decision
whether to go or not.
Yeah, whether to go and stop them or not. And there's just one scene where it's it's zooming into the Jedi Temple, then the Senate building, and it just keeps coming back to Padme and Anakin across the city.
Yeah.
And it has a brilliant piece of John Williams music.
No dialogue.
Yeah, it's no
and she
dialogue.
Doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. He's scared, and that's the one moment where Hayden Christensen's okay, you have some acting talent. It may be the dialogue in the direction.
See why you're in this profession.
Yeah, but it's kind of
try and just give it a shot.
Yeah, but that's the scene where I'm okay, I get what's at stake here. It comes across here better than it does in most places.
Yeah.
But also another brilliant scene in Revenge of the Sith is the Order 66 scene.
Just every Jedi going down the punk.
Yeah. I mean, people complain about this.
People have had problems with that.
Yeah, when they say the Jedi go down too easily.
You're not expecting that.
Yeah, I think
they're not expecting.
Also, because I think in that kind of a battle, if you have thousands of droids on that side firing at you, but you've got thousands of clones backing you up, the moment when you don't have thousands of clones backing up, I don't care what kind of sword you have. You're fucked.
I've got to say, I didn't really have a problem with the way the Jedi were taken down. They couldn't have dragged out for ages with Jedi we don't even know anything about.
A 25-minute sequence.
Yeah, getting to know them and then discovering how they die. It's no, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been quite nice actually if we got to know them in the last two movies. So it was more impactful.
It would have been, it would have been cool if they kept a Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn be the ones that get killed in that sequence. That would have been interesting. Because if Qui-Gon Jinn had survived the first one and gone through the second one and all that kind of stuff, and then he shows up in the third one just to get killed, it's that would have been impactful.
That would have been quite good.
But again, the music just brilliant. In
Yeah,
that scene as well. It's fantastic.
And it just kind of puts like you just go like a bit like, oh shit.
Yeah, like
that's when it's all going on.
Yeah, that's it. That happened. Yeah,
and like but like
it's really cool.
I always find it a bit like, why is it only like Yoda that actually gets it? He like just on the Force, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then though, it cuts from the Order 66 scene back to Master, what are we going to do? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like too sudden. It's like 1 minute, like not that long ago, you were fine, you were just a bit moody, and now you just killed a bunch of kids.
It's pretty dark.
I think also, if the kids were that young, why wouldn't you recruit them to be Sith guys?
Yeah.
Or just recruit them because like there's the rule of two thing.
The rule
There
of
can
two.
only be one master, one apprentice in the dark side, and all that shit. But I think, why don't you just use them as mercenaries? Like just use them as like cannon fodder. Because I mean, if you're hunting down other Jedi, wouldn't it make sense to have Force users of your own, more than one anyway?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get that. I mean, I don't know. I think they're just kind of saying he's bad now, and what he's done is unforgivable.
Yeah. Okay, but you got to talk about it. Just the lightsaber fight at the end.
Oh,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I fucking love
really
that
awesome.
scene. Yeah.
Again, music score phenomenal. Choreography good. Because that one, some people complain like the fighting looks too choreographed, but in that one, I think that one kind of looks like Anakin Skywalker's just trying to kill him.
Yeah, and he's kind of. I quite like it how Anakin, like the whole time you see Anakin fighting someone, it's always an attack through, and you see the different styles through that, and you hear the thing that comes to mind is be wareful of your surroundings. Which Obi-Wan always is the entire way through. If you look back at the fight, he always kind of knows where he's going to get to the next place, and then he's always taking that into account, and that's why he wins.
Obi-Wan is like most of the time always the one in retreat.
Yeah.
He's always the one that has to back away from Anakin.
And you kind of don't know where that one's going, because Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader are still alive in A New Hope, and it's like, well, most lightsaber fights end with someone dying. And you don't really know how this one's going to end.
Yeah, although it does end in a kind of silly way, where he goes, "I have the high ground."
A little bit silly, but I'm kind of...
but it's kind of like Anakin's ego destroys
him. To be fair, it does have the high ground. You think, well, what the hell does that mean? And he chops his leg off. But then, I think what saves it is Ewan McGregor's brilliant performance of the "You are the chosen one."
Yeah,
he is line.
Like, because a load of people make fun of that line, but it's actually a really
the
good
dialogue
line.
was not awful. Although, well, it's Star Wars dialogue.
I thought
it's never good.
he did well with
what he got.
With enough conviction that it didn't really matter what he was saying. And you got the weight of the scene.
Yeah, this is the bit. This, like, how were they going to tackle it? This is so much, like, pressure on them to deliver the Darth Vader reveal. Like, how did it happen?
Oh, I also really like that.
Yeah.
With the whole putting him together.
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
That was quite cool.
I like that.
I liked... I think my favourite line from that bit was, "You're my brother Anakin, I loved you." Yeah. And it was just like, oh, shit. And you're just like, at that moment, you're just like, he really did.
You didn't really... I mean, you believed it in that bit, but I feel like it would have been even better if you didn't have the, Anakin, remember that time, and then just not show that. They did show some of it, and they were actually hanging out for most of the film instead of going in separate ways. But that seems really good. But also, when they're putting together Darth Vader, the bit where he does the first breathing is great.
Yeah.
Because you'll see the smoke kind of goes sucks into his vent a little bit and then blows out the way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's a cool reveal.
That's really cool, that. But then there's the terrible, she's lost the will to live.
It's like, why is she dying? It's like, because the writers say so. It's
we have no explanation why she's dying. She just is.
Yeah.
But again, you could have just written a reason why she's dying. Like maybe some force thing was fucked up her nervous system or something.
Yeah, why couldn't
Anakin grabbed her?
Yeah, why couldn't he have been the one to have killed her? It would have been...
I mean, some people sadly die at childbirth, and I suppose that was what happened.
I know, but I guess they could just use that explanation again, couldn't they? They could have just said, well, she's injured and stuff, so she's probably going to die in childbirth, and that would have been still sad. You don't need
a bit lazy.
You don't need any of this. Oh, she's dead just because. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really ever get that. I always thought
Need
it
her
was
to
a bit
die
stupid.
around about childbirth. I bet she dies in childbirth.
It's like, what? No. She has to just lose the will to live.
Plus, like, Leia has like the best memory ever, of remembering her
I
mother's
remember my
face.
mother when I was 1 minute out of the womb.
It's like, wow.
See, I kind of assumed that she was talking about, like...
Her adopted mother.
like her foster mother or someone who she just believed was her.
Well, she does have, like, at the end on Alderaan, there is the couple that's there. Because what's his name? Senator Organa says, like, me and my wife have always wanted to adopt a kid.
Yeah.
And so I suppose...
It could have been about her.
She could have been talking about her, yeah. But at the same time, awkward scene.
Yeah.
But, and then look at the moons.
Look at the
Look at the moons,
With
yeah.
Joel Edgerton's little bit that he's in.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
He plays Uncle Owen.
That was before he was in anything good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
like-
he was good in anything.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Didn't really
like
get a chance to be good in
yeah,
Star
it's not
Wars,
like you
but-
can
No.
be good as what was it at Uncle Owen?
Uncle
Yeah,
Owen.
yeah.
Uncle Owen Prime. Okay, someone else has pointed out the experience of Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones from the Uncle Owen's point of view is really bizarre. Because, like, here's this guy that shows up and says, like, I'm your cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
And he says, where's my mum? Your mum got taken away. He goes, oh, okay. And then he runs away, comes back with a dead body, and says, here's my mum. I killed a bunch of sand people. Anyway, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So they're just like, what the fuck happened?
And then, shit, this is
and then
his kid.
And then Obi-Wan shows up and just says, adopt this kid.
Yeah.
I know you're here.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was obviously.
The guy with the dead body. I'm adopted his kid.
Yeah, like, obviously, like, the starting positions are rushed for.
They're so forced.
Like,
Yeah.
so
They're
rushed.
so forced.
Like, and
Forced.
they're just
Forced.
forced. But, like, it's like, oh, there's that droid. It's like, wife's mine. It's like, she's on that spaceship now, And I was kind of like, you didn't need to start on the exact
Yeah,
shit.
it's like there's a lot of years.
There's like, what, 20 years?
20
And in some way,
yeah.
it's like, maybe you don't want... Because we talked about bits being skipped out, like the Anakin and Obi-Wan bits that you don't see. So maybe we sound a bit hypocritical saying, like, we shouldn't have seen that. But, like, I think it would be more forgiving if you just were told, sometime in that time frame, C-3PO and R2 appeared on.
Also,
Yeah.
C-3PO serves no function in the
he's
prequels.
great.
Nice.
Nah, he's so cool. I like 3PO.
He's alright. I
He's
get
funny.
a bit annoyed by well, it's like in the original trilogy, he serves a purpose. He
I'm
translates
gonna agree
things.
with
He
you.
does
Yeah.
calculations a couple of times. It's all kind of R2-D2 in the prequels is very, very useful.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he does hacks the ship and flies about.
What do you think
and
of the
all
fact that Anakin built 3PO? When it was
stupid?
3PO didn't need to be in the prequels. He
Yeah.
didn't, but like they were trying to be like comedic relief, like with them in like prequel. I don't know.
Look who's back.
Hey!
Yeah.
Still game with 3PO and R2D2.
Yeah, but anyway, that's Revenge of the Sith. So 3.5 out of 5, I give it. You guys are 3.
I'm
out
going
of
for a
5.
strong 3, yeah.
Strong 3 out of 5. Okay,